Hello, Jess.
Hello. It's good to see you. Good to be here with you and everyone watching.
Yes, I am so excited that you are here with me today. I always love connecting with you and I love all of our conversations. And I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. And welcome to anyone who is joining us, whether it's live with us right now or if you're listening to this later, welcome. And we are going to be talking about this season that we are entering and the importance of burnout prevention. And I'm also going to be sharing some information on the retreats that I have coming up that are ideal for helping to prevent and heal from even burnout, and just really diving into some serious self-care and clarity work. So welcome, Jess, too. And do you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Jess Lipman. I'm a unified mindfulness certified coach, and I'm a mindful business coach. And I help people build the inner resilience, courage, and tap into strategic and marketing systems to do anything they want in the world and scale their impact sustainably and unapologetically. And I've been working for over 13 years at the intersection of personal development and impact and digital marketing. And so I now work as a coach and I support individuals and groups and organizations, actually with burnout prevention, leadership, strategic well-being, and really bringing mindfulness into their lives in a way that is meaningful and supports them toward realizing their goals fully. And I also work at within other modalities, including attachment theory and meditative attachment repair interventions, as well as parts work, internal family systems model, and high performance. So that's me. And I'm excited for our conversation because burnout prevention is so inspiring to me and so relevant and timely, especially in the world that we live in right now, where a lot of us are just very driven to serve and to help others so fully. And I know I personally have gotten lost in that, where I'll forget about myself, or it's much easier to help other people or to focus on work. And then there's this real backlash, this internal impact of that impacts my health, my well-being. And so I know that a lot of people are navigating this right now and trying to find a way to have the balance and actually feel rejuvenated, feel energized, feel excited about life, and also still be of service. Like, how can we do that? And so I'm excited to talk to you about it because you have some really cool opportunities to set the stage, the foundation for people to really create that life, create a life of balance.
Yeah, it's so important. And I love what you said, what we were talking about earlier today too, about just carving out that time for yourself, and not, it doesn't have to be work, 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 work. And actually, I want to, in case you're not familiar with me, I want to share just a little bit about me, but then we will also, I'm sure we'll dive into more details about my experience, my journey as this conversation goes on. But I'm Julie Loomis, and I'm a certified high performance coach and success principles trainer as well. And like Jess was talking about just that need to serve and the importance of that right now. That is my top priority right now, is showing up to serve and give back, and just use all of the things that I've learned in my journey, and both my personal life as well as all of my education and training and certifications, using all of the tools and resources that I have to step up and serve. It's life is not slowing down, and I
Mm.
swear it's just speeding up. And so it just really elevates the the need for it and the level of importance for it, because hey, we it's not all going to be up, highs and I'm in a great mood. There are going to be ups and downs in life, but enjoying the journey and appreciating the fact that when you do go a little bit lower, if you're not in the best mood, if you're going through a difficult time, just being able to have build up the resilience and being able to know that it's not a permanent state, and that especially when we're feeling burned out, if we reality check ourselves and get grounded back into some of the mindfulness work and things like that, it's just so much easier to navigate those rough times. So yeah, I'm so excited about the retreat experiences that I have coming up, and just the impact that they can have in helping people to unwind from that burnout, but also giving the space to just honor themselves. Like we were talking about this morning, I was carving out the time to take care of the dishes and some laundry, folding and putting away, the dreaded chore that no one really actually enjoys. Those are things that I have to do, but I want to work, but finding that balance is a tricky thing, right?
Right. Yeah. And what I'm hearing from you is it's like a lot of it is like we have life, and it's not so much that we need to change and alter everything around us, but we get to meet our lives with a resilient attitude and resilient tools to be fully with it, whatever the quality is, whether it's joyful some days or devastating or challenging in other days, because that's just part of it. That's part of this journey, is like learning how to be with everything. And I like to talk about it with the word equanimity, but how can we apply this non-interfering quality of reverence and attention to our everyday lives, but then also to be able to discern, well, what are some meaningful changes I can create in my life to move toward the life I really want for myself, and allow ourselves to have a life of balance or defined by any of our values, really, and know that we are empowered to create that. No one else is going to create that for us. It's this exciting opportunity and responsibility we hold for ourselves of like, how do I architect my life today? And how do I, navigate this with the attention and the clarity that lets me be there fully and enjoy what is to be enjoyed, and resiliently move through the stormy weather too.
Yeah, and it really, it takes intentionality too. And one thing working with within my high performance coaching, with my one-on-one clients in particular, really working on finding that clarity of, what are you doing? What are you intentionally going to do to make space to replenish, take care of your needs, relax, meditate. What are your habits that you're going to create that are going to support you on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly? What can you do for yourself to rejuvenate and just really nurture yourself on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis? I am the queen of last minute, I'm fried, I need to get out of town kind of thing, and just be and do the things that I need to do to rejuvenate. But I, like this year in particular, I've just really recognized that, yeah, that's super fun sometimes. I can't function like that. I can't just fry myself and then, reactively take this time out. I need to intentionally every quarter I am designating time that I'm just off, and it's carved out for, a retreat, whether it's at my house or outside of my house. And then once a year, at least once a year, taking intentional time out, not to, do a house project or things like that, but just to take care of myself.
Mm,
So important.
yeah.
We can't always take care of people. We need to take care of ourselves so that we can show up for people.
Right. Yeah. And like what I'm hearing there is like when we do that, when we actually make time for ourselves as well as our daily responsibilities, our career, what we're actually doing is we're filling our cup, and then we're able to serve and act from that place of being full, not running on E, and
Mm.
how much more influential and impactful that is actually in the long term. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I'd love to ask you, to just share about, the two retreats coming up. You have the Costa Rican Adventure Retreat, January 28th to February 4th, 2023. And then you have Limitless Living Retreat, which is an 8-day retreat as well in Costa Rica, February 4th to 11th of next year too. And so I'd love for you to just, I guess, high level, take us through each of those retreats and perhaps what's the difference between them, to get started.
I just got butterflies. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Like seriously, I have so many butterflies in my stomach because I'm so excited to be back there and have the share the place and share the experience and have the experience with all of the people who show up. The Costa Rican Adventure Retreat is all about getting out of your comfort zone in the safest way possible. Like everything is taken care of for you. Excuse me. Everything is taken care of for you. I even help, with picking the flights to book. I offer recommendations on what to pack, what to not pack, things like that. Everything is arranged for everyone with the transportation in country, the hotel, the meals, all of that, and the activities too. It's really about having fun and doing something different and having an adventure, meeting new people and experiencing a new culture. And you don't have to do the zip line, which is a famous activity in Costa Rica, but still just being in the country can be an adventure if that is the level that you're at. I did actually have one year, I had someone go do the bungee jump, and
Mm.
like I don't even want to witness that one.
Yeah.
That's too scary for me. But that was her adventure level. And there are some activities that are included. They are generally, approved for all adventure levels. If you decide you want to challenge yourself with a zip line or something like that, you can, and really get out of your comfort zone. There's plenty of time in which that you can do that. But the activities that are included in the adventure retreat are the garden glass cocktail making class, which I'm not going to share any of the details on this because that's just a special thing that you need to come and experience. But it's so much fun. It's been a crowd favorite for as long as I've been doing, added that activity into it. And it's educational, it's fun, it's in a great setting. And yes, it's a cocktail making class, but it is also friendly to people who do not want to have alcohol. So it's friendly across the board, and it's just fun. It's a really unique experience. So
Mm.
there's that. And then the guided cloud forest hike, which I don't know about you if you've traveled and to places where you need to be looking for or aware of the wildlife that's up in the trees or wherever, but I suck at finding it. I am the last person. Like everyone in the group can be like, oh yeah, it's right there, can you see it? And I'm like, no. So having having a guide to be able to point things out, and then also educate you, teach you about the things that you are seeing, whether it's the wildlife, the birds or the plants or whatever. You really get the education, as well as being able to have just this enhanced experience of not just walking down a path and missing
Mm.
everything that's around you. So they're two fantastic activities there. And then of course there's, we're spending the first part of the retreat up in the mountains in Monteverde, which is my home.
Mm.
And then we will also have beach time, and both towns are just fantastic, so peaceful. But actually, let me table that and tell you about the Limitless Living Retreat. Is again, it's going to be in the same settings, but we're going to have a different, it's geared towards a different conversation and different activities that are included. And the Limitless Living Retreat is, of course, there's the element of getting out of your comfort zone, but it's really about, rooting into your health in terms of, just that holistic view, the quality of your relationships, the activities, just your overall lifestyle, as well as the food that you consume and things like that. We're really honing in on talking about the blue zones, because Costa Rica does have a blue zone. And in case anyone isn't familiar with what blue zones are, there are 5 places around the world that have the highest population of centenarians, the people who are living into their hundreds. And I stress the word living into their hundreds, because they have a more active lifestyle than what we active and engaged lifestyle than what we tend to think about when we think about someone who is 100 or whatever we consider to be old. And this is really about shifting that perspective of what old is and what that is going to look like. Because a lot of times what I hear is, and I just turned 50 this year, and so I'm right there with you with the milestone birthday, and people thinking, oh well, this is supposed to hurt just because I'm 53, or of course I have this ache, or I lack energy at this age, or whatever, linking things to their age. But we're going to step back from those assumptions or those stereotypes, that way of thinking. And it's really about bringing in what we know from the blue zones and figuring out how do we bring that into our lives so that we do have more energy, and we are, and when I say energy, I'm talking about physical energy, of course, but just also the mental energy. And and on that note, we will bring in conversation around perimenopause and menopause as well, because that is something that can impact a woman's energy level. And you hear about brain fog and things like that. Those, bringing all of this into the conversation and looking at, all right, this is how I'm living right now. These are the things in these different categories that we will dig into. How can I bring, adjust this or bring this in? And then sharing within the group too, because, if you're talking about perimenopause or menopause, everyone has a different journey. And yes, there's a lot of overlapping and commonalities, but there are also a lot of different journeys to be had. And so sharing and what works, what helps someone and what had no impact, sharing in a safe environment, and just really making the most out of our lives and supporting ourselves in the best way. Most just, I don't know what, so many words coming to mind, but the most productive and nurturing ways possible, or impactful ways. So again, we all have that desire to serve, and whether that is just within our family unit or to a broader audience, it all comes back to, we need to take care of ourselves, and we need to have that energy to be showing up. And I don't know about you, but I like my relationships, so I want to keep taking care of myself so that I can be around for those relationships too.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
of course, there's an element in both retreats of looking at exploring, within our group conversations, or just, one-on-one coaching time, looking at where are we at right now in a variety of different areas, and then where do we want to go? Okay, how are we going to bridge that gap? What are the changes? And I mean, both of these experiences are set in two of the most stunning environments possible, with the gorgeous mountain views, and then, I mean, the ocean.
Mm,
Who doesn't like the ocean?
right. Yeah, what a beautiful place. The whole setting is like, it sounds like it's a radical change from perhaps someone's day-to-day life. And I guess that brings me to
Yes.
that question of like, why is it important to explore a new place when you're looking to either recharge, but also reevaluate your life and design it anew, or change your habits, or shift perspective? Why is it important to leave your home, your day-to-day life to do that?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. And really, it's just, uh, it's it's the foundation of a retreat, is when you can leave your daily routines, your daily spaces that you are, all of the rooms that you're going in and out of, without even really being aware that you're going through, walking through your house or driving to the store. We just kind of run on autopilot. Our relationships, whether it's in your house, relationships within your house, or with people outside of your house, those habitual interactions and that kind of set way of being. Um, all of those things, when you remove yourself and you go into this completely brand new, literally foreign environment, you're not running on autopilot at that point. You're much more engaged and intentional in that moment. You're going to be mindful, a lot more mindful of how are you feeling at this time. You're not going to have those daily influencers think, this is how, we all have people in our lives who just expect us to show up this certain way.
Mm,
Oh, she's always like this, or he always talks like that, or talks about that, or whatever it is. When, regardless of how long we've had that relationship, that can be there. And so when you are stepping out of that, you in a new environment too, you get to shed all of that and just kind of be yourself, or reconnect with yourself.
mm,
Everything, like I already mentioned, everything is taken care of for you. Of course, you don't need to decide today what activity, what additional activities you might want to engage in. That's stuff you can decide there, and that will be a fluid thing. But where we are, how we're going to get there, some of the activities, all of that is taken care of for you. You don't have to make a decision about, well, what am I going to cook for lunch? Or, all of those little decisions are just done. You get a break from
mm,
all of that, and you get to focus on you and how you're feeling and what is resonating for you. And without those influences. So I think that I
Okay.
did a couple laps on that one, but I'm just like, it's a passion topic of mine, because I know from my experience what it's done for me to spend time, even by myself there.
Oh yeah. And what you're describing, it's like it's kind of a space where you actually get to shift your perspective because your attention isn't on all of the day-to-day decisions or activities or repetition that you're usually locked into, and you're in a completely new environment. It sounds also like a simplified environment. Like retreat is a simple space typically where decisions already made for you, and you get to just show up, and you get to just be curious, and it's almost like you're switching on a whole new attentional perspective that is quite radical. Like taking that time for your mind and your body has huge effect. And I, as someone who goes on retreats myself, it is some of the most um, fruitful, impactful time I spend in my whole year, because when I come back into my life, I feel completely renewed, and not just renewed energetically, but also there's like a rest that took place, and now inspiration can actually arise. And I find that sometimes being locked in a day-to-day life or consistent patterns or repetition can actually keep me contracted or constricted, and eventually drain me to the point where like my inspiration isn't there and I'm just going through the motions of life, and then the fulfillment is low. And so taking that time to just explore something physically and somatically new and sense experiences that are brand new, it's like one of the best ways to actually amplify your productivity and your sense of wonder in the world and appreciation for your mundane day-to-day life. It's like a recharger for, you know, appreciating all that you already have in a way.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And that is one of the goals, one of the benefits of retreats is you get to step out of that mundane and all of that existence, and kind of dust off your creativity and reconnect with it, like you said. But then then you return home with maybe some new things that you're going to bring into your life, but reconnecting with, I really appreciate what I have. I really
Mhm.
enjoy my house, my space, my relationships, all of that.
Yeah. It's really cool. Like what you've created is just so meaningful and so needed, really. We all are kind of bombarded with overwhelm, I would say. And so
Mhm.
taking this time for yourself is actually quite radical and such a gift, to yourself, but to other people. And that's important too, is like rooting into
Yeah.
what can motivate you to take this time for yourself. Sometimes it is hard to take time for ourselves because we could feel guilty about doing that. Or it's like, oh, if I go away, like, who am I going to be harming by leaving? Or how is it going to negatively impact people? And so we get to root into this shift of, well, actually, if I take this time, I'm actually going to be more available for them in my day-to-day life. And trusting that we are allowed to take this space. And not just allowed, but it's quite a necessity to be a high performer and to have a deeply fulfilling life,
Yes.
is to make this space for ourselves and bring that into balance. So what a cool thing you offer.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point about the guilt, and that comes in so many forms, with, oh, then if I spend money on myself, then I'm going to be taking away from this other thing. And yes, that may mathematically be true, but what is what is the overall net effect of you taking that time for yourself. You know, you're going to, a lot of times people will say, well, I feel like I should be taking my whole family or my son or, you know, my kids, whatever, on a vacation rather than spending all the money on myself. Well, in that situation, you are showing the kids self-care and time, you know, time to explore yourself and really just disconnect and invest in yourself financially, time wise, emotionally, all of those things. You're setting the example of how important that is for people, or, you know, for your kids rather. And then you're also going to come back this better version of yourself, and you're not likely to go back with the guilt that you initially have, that where you are kind of making that excuse almost. I've seen that a lot, and I've done that myself. And so I'm not saying that against anyone. I'm like, I've been there. Oh, I can't invest in myself because you know, I need a new door or things like that. Well, what if I'm not able to show up for my people? And what if I'm not enjoying the journey and just all of the impact, all of that weight of, you know, those burdens that we carry around? Sometimes we need to set those down for a while and really just take that time. It's okay. The department, your company, all of those things, they're not going to, you know, suffer inevitably because you are, or indefinitely because you take a week away for yourself. And that for me, that is one of my personal struggles is, no, but I need to be working on this. No, I need to work today. And I know that inner struggle of the time and the money, and it can be even emotional space too.
Yeah.
So many layers to it.
Yeah.
I know firsthand experience, whether it's my experience in Costa Rica, when I am on my own, just living there, or if it's when I'm with retreat groups, or if I'm on a different retreat myself. I just, the impact of that is so huge.
Yeah. And what you shared, like there might be a guilt. And the question is, you know, how can we root into what you're sharing, which is being a role model, like really taking that responsibility and really thinking about, like, what do we want for the people in our lives? Like, do we want them to feel easeful? Do we want them to feel safe to explore themselves and to take time for themselves? If we want that for them, we get to show them what that looks like. And the best way to teach someone how to do it is to teach them through our example, which could also be the hardest thing to do. It's just embody your values and live in congruence, right? And this is so part of that for me too. I go on retreat because it's so essential to my own process and my annual renewal and my own internal cycles. And it can feel really uncomfortable to go offline. All this fear comes up. What will happen when I'm away? You know, the control body all of a sudden comes on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we can all relate to that. It's like, how can I greet my control body with my value system and to remind it that this is part of how I perform so skillfully in the world, is taking this time of rest and rooting into the values of that retreat time. It's like, and knowing that you might feel that control body tighten or guilt emerge, and just noticing them as sense experiences that arise and pass. You know, it's like how at the root of it, as a mindfulness coach, this is something I think about, is like, you have a sense experience, call it an emotion and call it a somatic activity. The question is, what do we do to regulate that? Because so many people, in order to regulate the guilt, they stay in their patterns, or they do things that feel misaligned anyways, or they act against their gut feeling. these
All
are
of
all
it
ways to
should.
emotionally regulate guilt, right? You
Mm.
know, and it's like the invitation here is to notice like, okay, I feel guilty. But why is this important to go do anyways? And how can I trust myself to transmute that guilt and to notice it as a sense experience and not to let it drive my life anymore? It's like, and role modeling the way is one really powerful way to shift that and to soothe the guilt. It's like, oh, I get to be a role model right now and feel the complexity of the feelings that emerge when I take time for myself. Cause it doesn't always feel great at first. Like sometimes it's hard to go on retreat, right? Like the first day
Yeah.
of retreat, it's like, oh, maybe you're settling in, maybe there's a little anxiety, and you get to just greet that and then watch it change and flow and let you, Julie, support them through that process. Like,
Yeah.
you know, going on this retreat, you're not alone with it. It's like you're in this really sacred group of people, and Julie's there to support you as a coach and as a retreat steward. And it's just such a beautiful container to hold all of you.
Yeah, it is. And it's so common for people to not, unless they're labeled as a manager in their job title or whatever their position is, it's so common that we don't think of ourselves as leaders. But we all are in fact leaders, and we are having an influence on the people around us, whether that is children or our friend groups, our family. And just, it's kind of like that, the walking the talk thing.
Mhm.
And when you take time for yourself, you are less likely to show up with your people from a place of resentment or stress or anxiety, and more likely to show up from a place of gratitude. And just, I gratitude is such a big word for me. I have it tattooed on me twice, the symbol and the word. That is the place that I want to come from, and in all of my interactions. And I can't do that if I don't, take the steps that I need to take care of myself in those incremental stages that we talked about. And the retreats, it's just such a powerful reset on
Mhm.
that gratitude button,
Absolutely. Um, how did you start going to Costa Rica? If you want to share more about your story and how you found this place and found your own way of leaving your day-to-day life.
Yeah. I just so you know, I'm in Costa Rica in my head right now.
Oh.
Just kidding. My heart is though, like it's difficult to be in two, want to be in two places at once. I started going 18 years ago, and I went as part of a Habitat for Humanity group. And that was like it was my first time leaving the country on a passport and leaving the country on my own. And I went with and met up with a bunch of people I didn't know. And we had this common goal of working on this house for the week, and that house happened to be up in the mountains in Monteverde. And we had I'm not going to go into all the details about how Habitat for Humanity works, but great program. Look it up. You can do it locally in your area probably. So look that up. But in this Habitat experience, we had the opportunity, because you do need to have sweat equity when you are going to be the homeowner. That's one of the requirements. And so we were so lucky where we got to work directly with the family. And I mean, and then the local people too. And it was just such a special experience. And we're, bonded immediately and blowing bubbles. And because there's no language barrier, my Spanish is still not the best, but back then it was really bad. So no language barrier for bubbles. And so we got to have those special really unique moments. But that was great. And the family was nice. All the people were really nice everywhere we went, but there was just something about the place the overall place. And I would say definitely Monteverde in general, or excuse me, Costa Rica in general, but specifically Monteverde it grabbed my insides and was, you need to come back here. So I did. I always thought I'm a beach girl. I'm a beach girl. I'm a beach girl. I'm a mountain girl. Like the mountains, I love the beach still, but it's being in the mountains in Monteverde it's just, there's the pace and the beauty, and just you're surrounded by the beauty, and it's just out of this world, and it just really spoke to me. So I ended up taking another group. I led my own group back there the following year, and then I'm like, I have to go. And eventually I would just go by myself. I'd spend, a week, 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever there, always going to Monteverde. Sometimes I would go to the beach too, but always Monteverde, because there was just something so special about that place that I had to be there. And then I found that when I was there by myself, especially when I didn't have any obligation to, all right, where are we going to go to eat and I didn't have to do that. It was just, I could be quiet and very mindful of me and what was going on in my life at home, and not have all of the responsibilities and things that come along with being, homeowner, a parent, business owner, all of those things. And I got to focus on listening to myself in this very, very special place. And with this slower energy, I got to slow down my energy. And I really, I've just completely transformed my view on life, my pace of life, my patience. My patience and my judgment of time and how things should be done and things like that is radically different than what it once was. And just it's going with the flow, but not in I guess a more accurate way would be open to the possibilities and simply allowing things to unfold. Not having to control them like I once thought I needed to. And now the sirens are going off, testing themselves. So
got it.
So yeah, and then eventually it was just like, after I left my corporate position, I started my my professional organizing, my coaching, and that piece of my journey, I spent more and more time there, and bigger chunks of time there. And like, I need to bring people down here to experience this, to slow down, to be in this different pace, to work, to unravel from the shoulds in their lives, and really get connected with their truth, and following their passions, because our lives are about us. Yes, we want to show up for our kids, our spouses, our partners, our business partners. Like, we want to show up for all of those people that are important to us, of course. But our lives are really about our own unique journeys, and then how we can commingle with and overlap and support all of those relationships, and letting go of the need to control. The sirens will go away soon. But letting go of the way that we think our journey should be, or how we think someone else should be. And just allowing them to have their journey, and us being able to witness their journey without needing to control it. I think, with
Wow.
your mindfulness work, you definitely understand the, just disconnecting from the shoulds and getting connected with your truth, and how important that is for um, building that resilience.
Mm. Yeah. No, what you're saying really resonates. Like what I'm hearing is like you've been on this journey of exploring a new place and really building relationship with the land and with a different culture, and finding pockets of you emerge in this new place, and also releasing some perhaps old patterns and shifting the way that you orient toward yourself and other people, especially around this releasing of control. Because when we can release control, we can allow ourselves to be who we are. We can allow other people to be just who they are without needing to intervene on it. Um, and what a gift to ourselves and to other people to be able to do that. And control, it's oftentimes there really just to protect us, perhaps from something that we don't really need protection from anymore. And but it's just this like built-in automatic response to life, or it can be triggered by things in life. And so being able to nurture ourselves and feel safe enough to be in acceptance is such a gift. And it sounds like you have been able to explore that fully in Costa Rica and find elements of you that perhaps were just laying dormant or underneath the surface, or didn't have a chance to shine out yet. And what a gift to now be able to bring people through that same portal, that same kind of environment and experiences, set and setting of finding their own, whatever their authentic shining light is. It's like there's someone inside of us that perhaps hasn't had the stage yet to shine freely and with acceptance. And what a gift you offer people is this space to just explore who you are. Take 8 days to just investigate and to unravel, and to let the tightness of day to day start to just soften, and then see with curiosity what is there to emerge, and how courageous that is, to invite that inquiry and create that space to let your own emergence come through.
Yeah, courage, that word. Does it take more courage to do the zip line or the bungee jump, or does it take more courage to allow ourselves to unwind from those thoughts, those shoulds, those things that we think we want to control?
Mm. That's a great question. And
Yeah.
doing things like what you're the setting you create for people to have an adventure or to explore things that are radically different from their day-to-day life invites them to build the muscle of courage. But the first courageous step is to just say, okay, I'm putting this on the calendar and I'm raising my hand and I'm just going to allow myself this adventure and not know what's going to emerge, but trust that this is time that will create space within me for things to process or things to emerge that need to be seen. Trusting that is the first step. And then getting to continue to build that muscle on retreat. Like you've really created a scene where people can explore and be on a true adventure and continue to build the muscle. And then what a great gift is to build that muscle and then bring it into your day-to-day life, because it also
Mhm.
takes courage to set boundaries. It takes courage to carve out self-care in your day-to-day life. And so this retreat is like kind of an immersive foundation establishment of let's build this courage and real self-love that we can carry the momentum of into our day-to-day lives.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited to be back there, and I'm so excited for both of these experiences.
Mm,
So
yeah, it's true
butterflies
gift.
everywhere.
Really, it's sacred time and you are creating it, and it's like such a beautiful opportunity for people. I'm excited for everyone who's going to be going. It's like, oh, wow. Like these are some of the most like fun and enlivening moments of life, is taking these opportunities. Like just saying yes sometimes to something new can radically shift. Like 2023, it's like I invite everyone watching this, really think about, what do you really want to create space for in 2023? Just allow yourself to name it, to dream big.
Yep.
What do you want to feel? And know that like taking time like this, like going on retreat, whether you do the Costa Rican adventure or limitless living or both, like you mentioned, like you can actually go on both retreats. So 2 weeks of beautiful sacred retreat. Like how could that propel you radically into this vision in a way where, you know, staying local or just staying in the grind, it might not actually bring forth that vision. It's like we get to take radical action to bring forth radical vision sometimes in our lives.
Yeah, you know, someone recently commented something about not understanding why I felt compelled to leave my house and, you know, leave on an airplane to go somewhere else when I need a break. And I just was so caught off guard by that, because I was thinking that was just like a universal kind of perspective, and it's not. And I just, my response to that was, I can't be surrounded by all of my shoulds. You know, I should go through my books and get rid of what I'm not going to read anymore. I should fix this hand railing. That was a project of mine that haunted me for a while. I should bake bread. I should, I should participate in my hobbies and, you know, things like that. But that's not really allowing that true space that is really honoring my insides and the space to have those ahas, and that in just that whole new environment where I don't have the option to bake a loaf of sourdough or learn whatever new thing that I want to learn that is contained within my house. I don't have that. I don't have that sense of obligation or should. And being free from that just unlocks it allows so much to be unlocked. And I didn't realize that wasn't like a universally held belief or perspective. So that was really interesting. But it just, you know, speaking from experience, I've done the staycation thing, and yeah, that's cool, but it's also not, you know, it's like a nap versus a full night's rest. When you actually go on a retreat and you have the freedom in your mental and physical being, you it's like you get that full night's sleep in terms of that impact.
Right. Yeah, that comparison is really salient. It's like of course we could carve out time in our home or locally and attempt to create space to restore or gain clarity or shift things, but it's taking yourself out of all of the scene that is filled with reminders of your day-to-day life or reminders of things that feel like obligations or responsibilities. And those can be quite hypnotic and magnetic. So it can be really hard to disconnect from them when they're all around you or in your space. It takes sometimes very high levels of skill to be in your home in that kind of setting, attempting to have a different experience. It's a lot more manageable to bring yourself to a new place and to actually receive, like the practice of receiving rather than doing and efforting. It's like dropping into this effortless receiving inherently is healing and cathartic.
Yes. Yeah. The effort, that word is really meaningful in this conversation with you. You get to take your foot off the gas. You
Mhm.
don't have to exert all of that effort. And
Right.
like that, it's just such a nice gift to give yourself
Yeah.
sometimes, permission to just stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd love to hear what, if you could share high level, like what's included in each of these retreats, and then when should people like sign up by, and what is in store if they sign up before that time period.
Yeah, that is important information. Yeah, we both experiences will be limited to a maximum of 10 people, so that it's kept to an intimate, just a safe, cohesive kind of group, and safe, open dialogue and intimate relationships can form. And I have people who are lifelong friends with people they didn't even know at the beginning of the week, so that is pretty special. But 10 people, and when right now there's early bird pricing, and when you register by the end of the day on Friday, October 7th, then the price for the Costa Rican Adventure Retreat is $23.99. The price for the Limitless Living Retreat is $24.99. And your spot can be secured with an $800 deposit. And then, the terms for the other payments are available on the website, which I will put the link below. And what's included, no, I was going to say the one other thing is, if you do want to attend both retreats, then it's a 20% discount on both. So if you enroll by, even with the down payment by the end of the day Friday, then you will not only have the early bird pricing, but you will also receive the 20% off. Right now, along with the early bird pricing for both retreats, you will also receive a one-on-one coaching session with me. But we can talk about the timing once you're enrolled. We can do that during the retreat, or we can do that sometime after if you want that extra boost after the fact. Just reconnecting with, okay, am I on track with the goals that I set for myself? Let's follow up on that. You don't have to decide on that today. So that's one bonus. Another bonus is $100 massage credit. You can use it massage, facial, combo, whichever you prefer. So there's that, which is going to help you just, release and relax even more. And then a candlelight yoga session that will be up in Monteverde, during the first couple nights of our time together. And that will be a really special experience with one of my amazing, just absolutely beautiful humans that I know. One of my favorite friends in Monteverde is the yoga teacher, and she's also an art teacher. And I forgot to mention before, but within the Limitless Living Retreat, one of the activities that is included is a couple art classes, and those are going to be very, very special experiences. Again, led by my friend, and I'm really excited about that. That's going to be special. Both retreats include a 30-minute coaching session beforehand, and that is really designed to make sure that we're, for starters, connecting even more. I want you to just be that much more comfortable with what's going on. Make sure that you fully understand and feel supported. You just have the foundation that you need to, and then figuring out how to get the most out of the experience for you, because it's not the same for everyone. And so just honing in on that what your intentions are, and and things like that beforehand is going to help you get even more out of the experience when when you not only have some more clarity on that, but also just really have a good understanding of what things you have to look forward to and things like that. So there's that opportunity. And then of course, all the transportation in country is included. The hotel and breakfast and dinner are included. Lunch is on your own because it's a lot of food for starters, a lot of amazing food. But I found that having lunch included in the middle it just disrupts the flow of the days. And so just, if you are going somewhere different than the group, then you're free to do that. And you're not going to be missing out on anything. We'll do a 30-minute coaching session during the retreat. And like I said, you also have the opportunity to receive the bonus at the bonus 60-minute session at this point. That could also be during the retreat or after. So you're really getting a lot of before, during, and after support to help you not only enjoy the experience, but really to get the most out of it even after the retreat too. I mentioned before the activities that are included for the adventure retreat are the garden glass cocktail making class, and then the Cloud Forest Reserve guided hike, which is magical. So yeah, I think that I hit on everything that is included. It's just everything is taken care of for you, and you need to pack and you need to book your flight. I'll help you figure out how to navigate both of those. And then you got to get to the airport, and then we've got it from there.
Wow. It sounds like a stunning experience you've really crafted and take people through. And what a gift to each of us, to whoever gets to come on this retreat and be a part of this experience you've created and really skillfully weave together. It's such a beautiful way to usher in the new year and to really claim how you want to feel and start by feeling that way on retreat and really set up yourself for success. So really allow yourself to receive and to unravel and to get replenished and to have vibrant sense experiences that you get to carry the momentum of through your day-to-day life back at home. What a great way to renew and also really set up the foundation, especially with the limitless living retreats. There's a real sense of holistic well-being and awareness and just decision making you get to dive into to live your most vital life. And that's absolutely something you carry with you beyond the retreat. But it's just, what a cool year ahead, and you get to start at this retreat and really sow the seeds to let them sprout and bloom.
And I live in Minnesota, and so it's also anyone from around here gets to escape winter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect time of year. I'm in Pacific Northwest. It's equally the time everyone leaves to get a boost of sunshine and some warm, air against your skin. And a getaway at that time, highly lucrative, desired. And you get to decide that now. You get to plan ahead and think about, okay, I get to immerse myself in a beautiful environment in this lush Costa Rica with a group of incredible people, and decide now, by Friday, we got 2 days to really let this marinate and wash over you and really think about what kind of year do you want next year, and to actually decide in this empowered way to claim that for yourself and to make this decision to join one of these or both of these retreats. Really cool. So yeah, Friday is the deadline, Friday midnight.
Yep.
Okay.
Now did I, okay, I want to make sure I was off mute. I don't know what just went by my house.
Okay. Well, we didn't
Something
hear it, so
very squeaky.
it is all good. So did you drop the link into the or below the video, or you'll do that
Um,
after?
I am going to have to do that after.
Cool.
Yep. And then of course, on the website, if you hit the book a call,
Mhm.
or, book an alignment call button, then set up a call with me and we'll get all your questions answered and go from there.
Perfect. Well,
Awesome.
thank you so much for sharing about these beautiful opportunities in 2023 that you're offering, and also just for putting this together for people. What a gift, And yeah, thank you for being of service in the way that you are.
Yeah, thank you. And back at you. Thank you so much for being here. And I I love talking about Costa Rica. And I think if anyone knows me, they know just talk about Costa Rica as a way to make conversation. So I'm always happy to show up and talk about that. But I really appreciate you being here and all of the support that you give to me and how you serve your people too. So
Cool. Well,
all
thank
right.
you.
All right, thank you so much. And just in closing, if you go to lunaazulretreats.com, all the information is there, and I'll drop the links in the appropriate comment section. So,
Perfect.
all right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye for now.